Hi all, this is a quick review of my Aussie Kiwi trade I tried today. So overall, on the higher time frame, this is why I'm so interested in Aussie Kiwi this week. I see this as a good mover this week, because it looks especially good in the weekly and daily. So that's why I'm really keen to trade this for buys. Now, on the 4 hours, I saw that this strong candle came down all the way down to this wick, which looked like this support, this resistance was reacting strongly. Now, before this, my view was that after this strong move up, this was all buyers building up their positions for a breakout up. That was my view. So after this candle came down over here, I sort of doubted my view a little bit. But once I saw the reaction and at this area, I saw that the sellers came down. This was the support that was holding. This was the, if I just highlight it with the rectangle. Where's the rectangle? Okay, so if this was the consolidation, zone thereabouts, then this was the breakout, and this was like a test of that breakout, right? So it did not really break this key origin of the push of this push up. So for that reason, I was still a bit bullish on this, and especially when I watched the pullback on one more time frame lower, I saw that yes, there was a bit of accumulation happening, and it was moving up well. So that's why I was a bit bullish on this, given the whole bigger picture and all of that. That's why I decided to take the buy, but I decided to take it with half risk because on this 15-minute time frame, it looks a bit menacing. These sellers do look a bit strong. So I did not have enough confidence to take a 1% risk. I took a 0.5% risk, which is less than my usual, and my stop loss just below this origin of the push up. Now, my management of this trade was similar to how I managed a lot of the trades I did yesterday, which was looking to grab the breakout move, and if that leg of, or if that swing was not the breakout move, I would look to get out, a pullback. So that was my thinking for this playing this kind of trade. But as I've mentioned in other videos, the disadvantage of this is, firstly, I would need to be very, very ready and willing to not just get out but get in multiple times. That requires a bit more confidence of getting in multiple times, putting on another risk into the market when I get into a trade. So that's something which I'm still working on, because I don't always feel confident getting in multiple times, even though the overall thesis is correct. It's just a psychological thing for me at the moment. Now, so that's the first reason. The second reason is commissions and spread hurt a lot when I get in and get out, especially on 3-minute time frames and lower. So for that reason, my new plan from this point forward, at least to the end of this week, is because my read has been generally good for these kind of trades. I'm going to get in at a area where I think it is going to move, but if it does do some pullback towards within that same congestion zone, I'm going to let it happen generally, and have faith in my overall read, because that way I could have potentially caught this trade up and even caught previous trades such as the Euro New Zealand trade. So that's my new plan, and that's what I'm keen to implement after this. Regarding the management of this trade, it was again based on if there is a failure of a strong breakout, then I'm getting out. So I managed it in with that idea in mind. That's why I kept moving my stops quite actively. So I managed it mostly on the 1 minute because trade. Now, how I saw it was, after this consolidation, There was a breakout up, a test of this breakout, and then another breakout up. So after this breakout up, I put my stops. After this strong reaction, I put it there, because with the reason that if the sellers come back down, that's probably meaning that the problem means they're going to test this area again. The sellers to hit it back down after this long consolidation over here and breakout over here, and after this test, which respected the support, I didn't think the sellers from this price would have what it takes to break it. If the sellers would have needed a better price, and indeed that is what happened. So after this, after price crept up a little bit more, started consolidating over here, and then broke out. After this breakout, again with the similar reasoning of, if this breakout comes back down, that probably means the sellers are going to test at least this area again. That was my thinking. So after this breakout, I put my stops at my entry area, and I got hit soon after that. And it ended up being a decent decision, because price did indeed just consolidate around this area, maybe sellers building up their positions, because it was reacting from a very logical zone, which was this resistance over here on the 3 minutes. It went from this resistance. So I think that was well played for the type of management I was planning to do for that trade. Now, what I did, I wasn't watching the charts, so I may have missed an entry here. But again, if I was the charts, taking a sort of entry where, sure, this is where the buyers are, this is looking like some sort of congestion and a fake out move to clean out the stops, and then I'm not sure if I would have had the confidence to enter a position over here or over here, because this was still it wasn't in a very nice pullback sort of structure. So those are some of the issues with managing trades like this: getting in and getting out. Getting back in may be a bit more difficult. So keen to is the overall read is correct, and we'll see how that goes. So this almost has reached my target if I had stayed in the trade. Anyway, so that's all. Thanks, and comments and questions are very much welcome.